Hi everyone, Bert and Ains from Season Gaming. We're going to be going through the Nintendo conference as we did with Microsoft. We're not going to go in detail. The Microsoft conference was, almost 2 hours long.
Yeah.
Nintendo, a lot shorter. So we're going to go through the high points, kind of sum it up for you in the next 15 to 20 minutes max. Our thoughts, our opinions on things, the pros and cons. There's kind of a big one that hit Ains to where he jumped off the couch pretty much. I had some big surprises for me, especially the one at the end. But let's kick it off, and just to give you a heads up, we're not going in any order of the conference. So if you did watch the conference and you're expecting us to give an opinion based on the order those we're in, we're not following that at all. We kind of jumped all over the place. We rewatched a few trailers, a few comments that were made by the Nintendo folks, and kind of have put that in our order. So bear with us on that. If you were expecting that's going to be a little bit different. But let's kick it off with one of the biggest things I guess Ains has been predicting for a long time, for this franchise character to return. I'm not sure if Smash Brothers is where you wanted him to be, but big rumor, big talked about, but Banjo-Kazooie is one, I guess, and Tooie, to an extent.
Tooie's just the sequel.
I know, it's a horrible joke. But Banjo-Kazooie is coming to Super Smash Brothers. So, trailer was super interesting. I think it was the second last to the end announcement of the conference. And Ains knew immediately when, what is the currency? The Jiggy jumped into the frame. Donkey Kong was there playing in one of the rooms or something. And then we saw a shadow. They tried to tease us with one of the other characters, which was Duck Hunt. And Ains knew what it was. He was losing it. What do you want to share on that one? I mean, it's a big dream come true for you.
This is great, and I see lots of people getting excited about this. So really cool to see. It's great to see Banjo back. I love the way he looks. They showed actual gameplay of him fighting in the game, and it looks great. They use a lot of his signature moves, like jumping on the back of Kazooie and running across the map and shooting eggs. And I think it's really cool. I've said for a while now that I'm not a huge Smash Brothers person. But if they put Banjo in it, it'll be definitely a buy for me. So this coming later this year means I got to pick up Smash Brothers. I also hope, of course, I think with the rest of Banjo fanatics, that this is leading to something bigger. You know, just seeing him return, seeing Microsoft allow Nintendo to use that character and IP, that there's a game in the works. So hopefully, but super excited. This is my favorite thing from the show. And on best of all, of course, it means I get an extra point on our E3 trivia.
That's right. On the same vein of Super Smash Brothers, at the beginning of the conference, they did unveil the Dragon Quest character, which I guess he's called the Luminary. Characters, yeah. They did start it out. There was a few people, including myself, thought it was another Zelda character because they started showing his sword, and then he dropped in, and there he is. So he's considered the Luminary in the Dragon Quest most recent storyline. That's where they're getting their modeling from. I guess one of the things for me that was interesting is both Banjo and the Dragon Quest characters' moves fit really well in the Super Smash Brothers trailers that they were showing.
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, there was nothing that looked off balance or anything. So that was really fun. We were pretty excited about that. I think the biggest rumors were we were expecting some more characters from Super Smash Brothers, and we got them. So pretty fun to see that. Let's move over to the next one, which was kind of a weird one for us. They started off with a new game coming, and then they mentioned they were in relationship with Netflix. Yeah. And if you have watched any of the Dark Crystal, I guess it was mainly one movie from back in the 80s, they have a new show coming, I believe, in August on Netflix. And right after that, they had one of the main characters, and then it jumped to gameplay, which is really interesting. And it's Dark Crystal Tactics is the game here. If you've played Disgaea or any of the Final Fantasy Tactics games, that's the gameplay style. What are your thoughts here? To me, it was kind of weird.
It was
a weird
strange.
announcement, but it looks decently good for the most part as far as gameplay.
Yeah, it looks all right. I hope it's got some depth to it. Excuse me. It's an early morning here, guys. Sorry. But I hope that I hope it's got some depth. I hope it really, puts some strategy elements into it that are going to be beyond like just a very high level tactics game. But I think this will certainly capture. We saw Dan going nuts for it. Remotely. And I think it'll capture a lot of those people that are our age that grew up in the 80s and all those 80s classic children's movies, and now just getting to play through that again. It'll be interesting to see what the story is really, if it ties to the show or if it's a standalone thing, what have you.
Yeah, it was interesting. To Ains' point, I hope it's a deep game and not just a very, casual game, I guess is the best way to say it, just so it can line up with the show. But from what we've seen, it seems like it's a good universe to make into this type of game. So we'll see more about that later on. I don't think it's on the floor. No, it is on the floor, isn't it? On the Nintendo floor. I think we saw it on the floor.
I don't remember.
I can't remember. We'll take a look while we're there to see if we can get some more gameplay footage and seeing people play to see if it's something that's being liked. But moving over to the next one, and the biggest one for me is the amount of Zelda that was in this Direct. One of the things that was in the I guess the meat of the Nintendo Direct was Link's Awakening. So they were showing Link's Awakening. We knew it was coming. We did get a release date. I believe it's September.
I'll look at it real quick. Go ahead.
But yeah, they did show a lot more gameplay, a lot more of what to expect. At the same time, this is not a new game in the sense of we're not, we don't know who the bosses are and stuff. We do. This is a remake. So very excited to see that. One of the things that was interesting is that they did show a collector's edition that appears to be in Europe only. And with that being in Europe, it's kind of a letdown. It's coming with a really cool Nintendo Game Boy Steelbook. It's
Yeah, it
with
looks
the
awesome.
art book, and then the game itself, and I think even a map or something, which I hope it comes to North America, but it doesn't look like it so far.
Yeah, and they just said 2019 again. They didn't give an official date.
I thought there was a date at the end of the trailer, but yeah, 2019, so it's this year. Biggest thing at the end of Nintendo Direct was it looks like we're getting a Breath of the Wild sequel. The best way that you can explain it is maybe kind of what they did with Ocarina of Time with Majora's Mask. They took the same universe, the same elements of the game, and then added a darkness to it and a different storyline. It doesn't look like new assets in any form whatsoever. It's very similar to Breath of the Wild before. I went nuts on it. No release dates, no release windows at all. It just says it's being worked on.
Yeah.
So very exciting for me. I was losing it, not as big as Ains was with Banjo-Kazooie, but I was very excited. Breath of the Wild is one of my favorite games. I still put it in my top 10 of this generation of games, even though the Switch isn't really considered this generation. It can't really make sense.
The game came out in this generation, right?
That's right.
Yeah, it was kind of funny actually because we went from Banjo, and I knew right away in Banjo, and I like started hitting Bert, getting excited, and then right after Banjo they went to Breath of the Wild, and he started hitting me back, getting excited. So it was a pretty good moment. They ended the conference really well, or Direct real well.
Yep.
Yeah, this is neat. So Link's Awakening we'll touch on. I love the art style. It looks really good. I think this is going to be obviously a very big one. It almost looks like Link to the Past, like a modern Link to the Past.
Yep.
So it'll be good because, being a Game Boy game, maybe not a lot of people have ever played it. And then Breath of the Wild sequel, I'm not the biggest person on that, but I think it's really cool to see. It's nice to know that it's being worked on. The one thing I would say is if it is like Majora's Mask, hopefully the game is coming sooner rather than later.
Yep. I told Ains, you got to try it out a little further. Maybe I can sit next to him and push him to play it. Breath of the Wild we're talking about. I love that game. But yeah, there was a release date at the end of the Link's Awakening trailer.
Oh, sorry.
It is September 20th. And yeah, it's not easy to find, funny enough. I don't know why. You think you could Google release date and it would show it. But it is September 20th. It did show at the end of the trailer for Link's Awakening. So fall is getting more and more crowded as
it's like every week.
Yeah, there's something going on every month, every week. I guess funny enough, the 1 month that is not too busy so far on confirmed release dates is December.
Yeah,
which
no
would
big
be
one yet.
Right before Christmas. But I guess everybody's trying to get before that Black Friday holiday where everything sells like crazy. But anyways, a lot of Zelda news, a lot of good stuff. A few Amiibos were released as well. There was an Amiibo for Link's Awakening character. I did. Hey, we're talking Nintendo now. This is my world. But yeah, super fun about that. There's another one coming that is not Zelda, but Trials of Mana. They did show, I guess, some of the old Mana games. This one looks to be pretty fun. It is a number of games mixed into it. No release dates on this one at all. We're only getting early 2020. So in typical Nintendo fashion, until they have a firm release date, they're not going to tease a quarter. They're not going to tease anything. Early 2020 can mean Q1 or Q2. Yeah. To a certain extent. So we are hopefully before June is what that window looks like. But any stuff here? I love those games back in the day. I think you were pretty hot on them too.
I was a long time ago, yeah. The only thing here is we're getting to the part here where we're going to talk about a bunch of games. For me personally, I know lots of people excited about, but a lot of these games started to look samey.
Yep.
Very JRPG, animated, same voiceover, it just, a lot of the conference I felt, I keep saying conference, Direct, whatever, it felt samey due to the style of the titles. So I'm not too excited personally about this. I know plenty of people will be.
Yep.
And I think it's cool that they're at least bringing some of the older games in the collection back. So.
Yeah, and as we're going to go through a few of these, as Ains said, they're very samey in the same JRPG type gameplay. A lot of the art style is very similar. So we're going to shoot through these a little quicker. And then if you've watched the actual Direct, you can kind of look deeper into the trailer to see. And if you're a big fan of one of the franchises, no disrespect at all, we just there's so many of them going on.
Yeah,
that, it was a lot going on.
There's a lot of games they showed real quickly.
Yeah, they did. With that being said, Fire Emblem 3 Houses is coming July 26, 2019. So this one's been in trailers for a very long time. This one was actually a surprise for me. I was expecting this one in the fall. It looks like it's here July 26, 2019. So once again, very samey. You have one hero character and some kingdom with a sword. It's kind of like the funny formula you can kind of use with JRPG mechanics. They didn't show a lot of gameplay, which was funny. It was mainly a story type trailer introducing
they did that
more
for
characters.
a lot of them.
Yeah. As the big joke has been at this E3, a lot of trailer, no gameplay.
Yeah.
Nintendo was really a lot of trailer, no gameplay, with the exception of a few games. Fire Emblem, are you a big Fire Emblem guy?
No, I'm not. I know people are waiting for it. There's a nice collector's edition that's coming.
There is.
So, pre-order that if you want another nice steelbook in the Switch size, So, but no, you can move on.
If you've played Super Smash Brothers, there is like 6 characters from Fire Emblem. So even if you're not a Fire Emblem story guy, then you've played with the characters in some form I should say. Another Resident Evil coming, and this is Resident Evil 1.
For the 47th time.
For the 49th time. It's initially PlayStation 1 game, has been ported to PlayStation 2, has been ported to GameCube, has been ported to 360.
It would take too long.
Yeah, it's crazy. One of the interesting things here is Resident Evil 6 is coming as well. And 5.
Yeah.
If you add to the library of Resident Evil games on the go, there's a lot of them. Resident Evil 0 is available as well. Resident Evil 4, I believe, is available on the Switch. It runs at 420p. There's just if you're a Resident Evil fan, big time for you. You can pretty much play almost every Resident Evil game, with the exception of the new ones, on the Switch. So another big thing. Those are coming this fall, and they did not give a firm release date. I don't believe on that one either. So nothing there. Anything on Resident Evil?
I honestly can't play these games for the 30th time.
Yeah.
It's cool they're coming. I can't imagine hasn't played them yet, but I mean, if you're a huge fan and you want to play them on the go, there you go.
Maybe Nintendo people who never played them, but I mean, some of the Resident Evil came out on the GameCube. Resident Evil 4 initially came out on the GameCube, Xbox. So some of these have been on the Nintendo generations, but they are, I guess, coming to the Switch.
And 6 you don't need to play.
Yeah, 6 is a weird one. It had some fun elements, but it doesn't feel like Resident Evil at all. One that I wish would come would be Code Veronica. We have not seen a remake or remaster
It's one of the best ones.
in the newer generations.
They need to do an RE2 treatment on Code Veronica. That'd be amazing.
It's one of my favorite stories. Anyways, moving along, there's a new No More Heroes coming. No More Heroes 3 officially. There was one that released recently, which was a remaster, and then one that came out after that was not in the, I guess, the 1, 2, or 3 parts. It's kind of a spin-off of it. Main character Travis Touchdown looks like he has, that's his name, Travis Touchdown. Looks like he's been kind of remodeled in some form, a new look for him. The trailer was really fun, as all these games are, but that is going to be coming in 2020. No
Just
release
generic
on there.
2020.
Yeah. Fun franchise. If you like the No More Heroes stuff, these have been kind of, some people love them, some people don't care for them. They're all over the place, but the action and the style of the game is a lot of fun.
Yeah, so I can't add too much here. I'm typically not too big into these style of games, so I know what they are. I've heard of them. Bert's our kind of expert here, so I think we'll just continue on so I don't say something stupid. Yeah,
they're fun. I'm not sure if I'm a release date type guy for this one where I have to pick it up on day one. They drop for sales all the time, so if you're interested in getting into it, try it out. They're a lot of fun. They have a lot of personality in their type of game. One that kind of surprised me but also kind of let me down a little bit was Contra Rogue Ops. Core, sorry. Corpse. The game looked very arcadey. The quality of the trailer was kind of all over the place.
It was. It didn't. I love Contra, especially in co-op, but it didn't look like I would have expected a new Contra to look.
Yeah, it looks like they've taken a number of characters and art from all the Contra games and threw it into one. Looked very mobile-ish to me. I guess that's expected on the Nintendo Switch, but the quality did not seem AAA to me, and I think a lot of people have been asking for a new AAA Contra game for some time. So we did get a release date on this one, September 24th, so I think we'll see more of it. I hope they have a demo for it. I'm a big Contra guy, but I'm not sure if this is the Contra for me.
I'm the same way. I'm going to have to wait to see what it's truly like when it gets closer.
Yep. One that has been in kind of beta testing for a while. I believe you can still grab the beta for this one on the Nintendo Switch, or maybe not actually. Now that I think it expired. But Daemon X Machina is I guess kind of a mech type game where you're playing and you're jumping around. I did give it a try a while ago. I'm not sure if it's still available, but I'll check back on that and leave it in the comments actually. We have a release date for this one, September 13th, coming up this year. So if you have seen that one, given it a try, very cool looking art style. I'm not sure if this is a launch date also purchased right away with everything else that's going on, but I know that there's been a lot of people that have been excited about this one. So
yeah, I mean it's the same day as Borderlands 3, which means for someone like me, this is an absolute no-go at launch. But it is one I'll try. I think this because of the mechs and because of the action, is separates itself a little bit from the other kind of JRPG stuff we saw. So, and I know there's a huge fan base for this type of stuff. So, our buddy Trey would be all over this.
Oh yeah.
So.
And funny enough, not the stereotype, but more of the Japanese-only art style and type of game here. So, as we mentioned earlier, a lot of and I guess it's expected. Nintendo's a Japanese company, but it's funny because you hear of Xbox or something, they're more of the American type games. PlayStation kind of dabbles between both. But Nintendo in this Direct had gone almost all Japanese art style, Japanese type games. So this is just more of that. Another one that surprised me, I didn't even see this one coming. I don't think there was any rumors in this one, but Panzer Dragoon Winter.
Yeah, surprise. No, I'm sorry. Panzer Dragoon, it's coming in winter.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm reading our notes here.
Really our notes were very fast.
Panzer Dragoon initially came out on the Sega Saturn. Then we saw kind of a reboot Crimson Dragon for Xbox.
So the original Xbox had Panzer Dragoon Orta.
Yeah, Panzer Dragoon Orta.
And then that team made a Crimson Dragon, which was a spiritual successor, right?
Correct. Yeah. So we've seen this type of game. It's, I guess you'd call it a on-rail shooter somewhat. You could control the dragon and spin them around and do some dodging and stuff. I never saw this one coming to the Switch in any form whatsoever. The art style looked like a mix between Crimson Dragon and Panzer Dragoon, kind of a cartoony cel-shaded type style.
A little weird.
It looked different, but for people that haven't played this one at all, this one might be the one to jump into. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it was definitely interesting. I didn't see it coming. As we saw, it's still licensed and owned by Sega, but it's not being developed by Sega. It was an indie company that's making this, and I forget the name off the top of my head, but I like these games back in the day. I don't know if I'm still going to be into it like I used to be, but it's still cool to see Panzer Dragoon actually coming back with a new entry in the series. So, yeah, we'll see.
So interesting. One that's going to be very hyped, and they have a massive booth at E3 this year is Pokemon. So Pokemon Sword and Shield is that what we're looking for. We're not the biggest Pokemon guys here, so unfortunately, I'm not sure how much we can give to this one, but. Massive lines at E3. People are just super excited for it.
Even when we went into media first thing in the morning, we went to the Nintendo booth. As soon as we walked in the doors, media, and the line was, bum rush. The line was around the whole thing. Yeah,
Nintendo's funny. They have a massive booth, and they have a short queue for you to wait into. And then if you don't fit in that queue, they send you to the back of the area, and then there's more lines that go back for that game.
Yeah.
So we were in with media, obviously. We went in, and then we're like, hey, maybe we can check out Pokemon. The line's not too bad. And then there's a guy holding a sign that says, continue this way. And then he sends you to a whole other line, and it was just massively long. So we'll
get some footage.
Yeah, we'll try to get some footage, some off-screen footage for you there. It's there. It is at E3, so if you are attending E3 or if you wanted to see more, the trailers are there. We'll try to get some off-screen footage for you. Like we said, we're not the biggest Pokemon fans, so we can't really give too much more insight on it, but it looks fun. I guess this is different from the Go Pikachu and Go.
Oh yeah, it's a full RPG. It has some open world mechanics.
Right.
But the big thing was it's coming November 15th.
Right around the corner.
So November 15th now puts it right in the middle of Death Stranding and Call of Duty.
Yep.
So that's a strange mix of games right there. But November is already packed. Oh, and Jedi Fallen Order. So.
Crazy. There's so many things going on for that. So Pokemon, big booth. We have pictures of it right now. That if you go to our website,
seasongaming.com /E3. That's where you can find all our coverage.
We'll have it in our, slideshow.
Yeah. I have some up there now.
So you can definitely see that. So very cool booth. If you're excited for Pokemon, check it out. One that a lot of people are very excited for, including myself. This is probably my top 5 most excited things from Nintendo's E3. Is Astral Chain. So coming in August, right around the corner, only a couple months away. This is very Japanesey as far as the art style goes and everything, but this is cool because you play with 2 different characters and they combine their powers and all kinds of move sets and stuff. It's very action RPG, kind of slasher type based game. Art style is just awesome. The direction that the director goes into with these games is fantastic. So if you haven't seen this trailer, I think you might even be interested in this one to where you'll pick it up or at least take a look at it, a second look at it. It just looks like a lot of fun. So Astral Chain, August 30th.
Yeah, right before the rush happens. So there is a chance I'll check that out. I don't know much about it, can't speak on it, so I won't waste your time. But yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. Next one is Empire of Sin Mob.
No, Empire of Sin.
Yeah,
It's a mob game. Sorry on my notes here, guys. So Empire of Sin, it's a mob game. It's like a top-down shooter, it looked like. They didn't really say much about it at all.
This trailer was really weird because it kept panning through the levels. And when it was panning through the levels, there was no action or gameplay happening. There was just characters randomly shooting. In rooms. And then it switched over to, I guess, a bit of a story type trailer.
And at the very end, it showed a city with objective points around it, kind of alluding that you can go around the city and do missions or whatnot.
Yeah, to me this looked like a Mafia 1 or 2. Mafia 3 is very different in style, so this one's different. But I thought it was actually a Mafia remake coming to the Switch, and it's not. So as Ains says here, it's a mob top-down shooter. And they only gave us spring 2020.
Yeah, spring 2020. So it could be interesting. I like that type of game, but we just didn't see enough to really know.
Yeah.
But it's unique in terms of this lineup, right? It was a very unique showing, so something different.
Yeah, so very interesting. A lot of fun from that one. I hope we get some more from it and we can see what the actual game looks like. But anyways, moving on, a game that has grown on both of us since the original trailer is the Ultimate Alliance game. So this is Ultimate Alliance 3. We did get a release date, and it's right around the corner, so July 19th. Looks fantastic, actually.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah, after we saw the original trailer, I was like, man, this looks like a kiddie game that you could take on the go. The more they've released on it, and the trailers have gotten only better, they've introduced new characters. An interesting thing is at the end of the trailer, they mentioned there was a pass, an expansion pass / season pass.
For X-Men, Fantastic Four.
Yeah, and there was one more. Can't remember the third one. It might have just been Avengers or something like that. But there was 3 main franchises from the Marvel side of it. I was hoping these were part of the game itself. So what it seems like is that there is a main story to Ultimate Alliance, and with the Fantastic Four, X-Men, and the third one that we're looking for right now, there might be just new missions, new characters. Maybe they're going to bundle into it. Right around the corner, I think there's been some more developer interviews that have happened on it to give us more information, but we'll look into that. So, Ultimate Alliance looking pretty good.
Yeah, and we learned more Marvel Knights.
Marvel Knights.
So X-Men, Fantastic Four, Marvel Knights. What are Marvel Knights?
So Marvel Knights is like Moon Knight itself. It's kind of a darker take on the characters of Marvel that are not very mainstream characters. So there's a lot of Marvel Knights stories that are pretty interesting. So like I said, I don't know if with that expansion pass that just means those characters are coming to the game and you can now play as them, or there's going to be some more DLC that you'll play with those stories in mind.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, it looked good. I think one thing I do like about it as an old school comic guy who's not so much hasn't followed it so much is a lot of the character designs are really classic looking.
Straight out of the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that interests me. And then on top of what we've seen about the depth of the gameplay and character building and story. So yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, so it is, once again, it's called Ultimate Alliance, the Black Order. So Thanos was in there. I'm wondering if Thanos is going to be the main villain to start out with, but we'll see. So a lot more to come for that game. July 19th, right around the corner. One that I did not see coming as it being a huge Nintendo push, because if you go to E3, there's a massive booth for this game. It is Mario and Sonic Olympic Games. So when you go to E3, you can climb the mountain, just literally climbing up.
Wall climbing.
Wall climbing when they put you in gear and everything, which is interesting. I think we have pictures of that on our site.
I do.
I remember if we do.
We do.
And then you can play it. Huge line for this one as well to check out. We didn't think there would be that much line for this one or anything, but it's just as long as Pokemon and Luigis Mansion and stuff. So very cool booth. At least that's all I can say from it. It's going to be a fun multiplayer game, I think.
Yeah, I've played some of these years ago because they're pretty popular, but there wasn't enough depth to really capture me. So I'll have to check out and see if they've really gotten to the point where it can be truly competitive.
Yeah.
You know me, I'm always looking for competitive. But if you can play it online, it's truly competitive, has some depth, could be interesting. So that one's coming in November. They didn't give a specific date, but November you might as well just take off of work because you're not going to be able to play all these games.
Yeah, so very interesting. I think that with Mario Party is their main game that is really talked about on there. So I don't know, good party game, something to play with the family, and look forward to seeing more on it. Moving on to the next one, which is a pretty big one. People were losing their minds with this one on social media. A lot of people have been waiting for this game for a while. We knew Nintendo was working on it, we just didn't know any more details about it at all. But Animal Crossing New Horizons. So we were watching it, and Ains started hearing the Animal Crossing characters talk, and he's like, "What the hell is that?" They have like a mumble, like dee 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 dee. They sound kind of funny. But anyways, yeah, Animal Crossing, new game coming, current generation.
So it's delayed.
Yep.
It was supposed to come this fall. They did, geez, I'm going to forget the gentleman's name from Nintendo who was speaking, but he said they needed a little more time to polish it up. No big deal there, of course, especially given this fall. So it's coming. It's called Animal Crossing New Horizons. Did you already say that? Sorry.
Yeah, sure did.
Delayed to March 20th. So March 20th, 2020. But yeah, I think Animal Crossing, one of the biggest franchises for Nintendo. So if you're excited about this, it was cool to see it. Cool to get a release date. I don't think you'll be too upset that they're going to take more time to polish it. That's a good thing, right? So cool.
Yeah, very exciting there. We have a number of listeners that were talking about it on social media to us.
Yeah.
Stuff, and they're super excited for it, and obviously everybody that loves Nintendo is super excited for it. Next one, that is probably the biggest one for me that is coming and right around the corner, and Ains.
Yeah.
Luigis Mansion 3. So it's finally here. Longest lines at E3 by far to get their hand, or to get a back room, look at it or whatever. We're going to try to get to it at E3 and report more back on it, but it is coming in 2019. No firm release date. All we are aware of is available in 2019. Trailer mega entertaining, multiplayer.
I was going to say multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer looks like more than
Cal Chen online.
Yeah,
8 players, they said.
Yeah. Can you still play with your friend?
Stop it.
Yeah. We're not sure if you can actually play with your friends or whatever. There's some Nintendo games where you want to play with your friend, but you can't.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. When it started out, I thought, oh wow, this looks like a lot like the other Luigi's Mansion, which is kind of expected, obviously. But the gameplay looks fun. Goo Luigi was introduced. If you're not sure what that is, it's one of the mechanics that they have in the game to where you switch between a Goo Luigi, and Luigi kind of goes to sleep, or he kind of just chills out while you're using Goo Luigi. Looks like a lot of fun, but like I said, we weren't able to get into those lines yesterday. They were too long. It was appointment only, but there is a standby line. So if that standby line becomes a little bit more, I don't know, a little better for us to stand in, where we're not going to waste most of our E3 waiting in that line, we will check it out and report back on it.
Yeah, very hyped for this. Very excited it's coming later this year. It looks good. I think it's really cool that there's multiplayer. I just hope I can play with Bert and other friends. Not too much to say that you didn't say. They have a really cool booth. It's like a big haunted house booth to wait in line for. So we'll see if we can get more footage of it. I believe we're gonna have some pictures of it as well at E3, and we'll try and capture some footage as well. There's a lot of people checking it out.
Yeah, at minimum we'll have pictures and off screen for you for sure.
Yep.
But that kind of wraps up the Nintendo Direct for E3. Overall, pretty decent showing if you're a big Nintendo guy. If you're not a Nintendo guy and you're more of just wanting to see if they have anything unique to play, a few new offerings that you can check out, but very much to the same franchises that they use quite often. It's good that they're getting those on the go. Overall, pretty good. I mean, I wouldn't say this was knocked it out of the park or anything outside of Banjo for you and the new Zelda for me, but a lot of fun. Like I said, they probably have one of the, if not the best booths at E3, so a lot of props there for them. Anything that we were maybe wanting to see? I really wanted to see something on Bayonetta 3.
So we didn't hear anything about Bayonetta. We didn't hear anything about Metroid.
Yep.
So those are the two big ones that we're missing. I think the Breath of the Wild kind of sequel announcement obviously is the biggest news, along with Banjo.
All right, and we didn't see the rumor of the new Switch Pro that has been rumored for a while coming. No new hardware from Nintendo at all, actually. No, not even new Joy-Cons that they like to always tout. No new colors or anything. So. As I said, this E3 has been playing it safe for a lot of people. I think this was safe with a lot of new announcements, and is what it is, I guess. It was a lot of fun. But anyways, hopefully you enjoyed our coverage so far. We'll try to get more Nintendo. As I said, day 1 and day 2 for Nintendo. Very busy booth. We try to get as much as we can and jump around, so we'll see if we can get more of it today.
Yeah, nothing more to add. Like I said, seasongaming.com/E3 is where we're putting all of our off-screen footage, a couple articles up there. We'll get more pictures and whatnot, so just tune in there and you can catch it or keep up to date with us.
All right, thanks for watching, guys. Watch our next videos. Really appreciate it. Talk to you later.